Hello, good morning to you all out there in your homes.
Good morning. So this morning we have decided to hold a small conversation slash interview with Tom. So yeah, if I look at you, you seem quite relaxed, calm, in peace with yourself. But I know that you're practicing and teaching much less Aikido in the past days. So I wonder, yeah, where do you find this calmness and peace that you seem to have? How do you find it if you're not training and teaching?
Um, at this moment, I find it in this situation, on this tatami, the pulse in which I am, and the fact that we kind of take the time to do this. There's much distraction, a lot, obviously, and of course I follow the news, but I also try to keep my distance a bit from lots of social media and all kind of stuff what appears there. Yeah. I think that will be the best for me. Maybe I try to set a schedule for myself. Otherwise, you just drifted away in all the news, in all the things what's happening. But maybe take time to just wake up, try to be in your normal rhythm, read a book, think about some things, and for a lot of you, just work. I know that there's a lot of people just working right now, maybe from home, maybe outside. Just do real good jobs. And I spoke a few students, spoke Andrea, and he's just very busy at home doing work.
So, how is it for you to not have the physical activity you normally have?
Feels for now as vacation, because in the summer when we go on vacation we don't practice. We do a lot of other things. We have fun and just vacation, but we don't practice. I can do a few weeks without practice. It's kind of gives me a boost for afterwards to kind of get going again. But I know if I will be inside my house for quite some time, then I will miss it definitely. At this moment, I go out because I work a bit.
Can you maybe share a bit which are the skills that you might be aware of, or maybe they're just second nature, so you're not aware of them? Which are the skills that you find that you have developed through the years of practice of Aikido, which help you to stay grounded and to digest and deal with the amount of anxiety and panic that's appearing around us?
It's very difficult, of course. And if I think about skills which I may or may not have developed, and I'm a lot of time thinking about how would life look for me if I didn't have that years of practice. But let's say I almost for sure know that it helps grounding myself, kind of relativeren, taking in perspective the whole situation, and maybe taking some distance, so once in a while. Neem een klein stapje terug om te kijken waar je nu staat. Just taking a small step back, looking at with a small overview, and then react. And if I relate that to what we do in practice, that's what's happening a lot.
So do you make a parallel between you're having now a natural way, integrated way of being able to take a step back and make distance between you and the situation, the amount of information, and how you do that when you work with a partner, having the right distance, the right I think the Japanese word is mai.
Yeah, my is a distance between me, my partner, me, the wall, me, and the energetic atmosphere. It could be anything. And this is quite interesting because sometime last week we were speaking about this with Evie and Vince in the morning class. We were really talking about my, and so it's setting your distance. And in this case, it could be, of course, also the distance to everything what's happening around us. And I think it's good that we can take that distance when we want. Of course, again, a lot of things happening. If we want, we can watch the news, but we can also say to ourselves, okay, this is a moment where I set myself a bit distance. I take a book, I do my work, I take care of my children. All the stuff, but it's just continuing.
So, can you tell a bit more about like the best distance in Aikido, mai, the best distance to have things done, and also compare that to the distance that they advise us from the governmental institutions to keep our distance from other people.
It's a very interesting question.
So to also take the distance from the amount of information, to really take the physical distance. What is the perfect balanced distance between two people in Aikido?
I think when you say this to me, and okay, we know each other very good, and we help each other always in our Aikido questions, but you ask me a question that immediately set my mind to the right spot. So how important is to keep that distance of, let's say, 1.5, 2 meters from somebody outside? Okay, everybody tells us that it's very important, but how to do it? This is just taking your mai, taking your distance. How to do that in a way where you feel comfortable, where you don't offend other people, and where you're also allowed to speak up. To say to somebody when you're in a line, sorry, neighbor, can we have a bit more distance? In my job, sometimes I just make a small joke and I just put my feet outside. This is kind of arm length, and basically everybody understands what is that distance. If you can do that in Aikido, if you can do that in this strange situation, maybe it's interesting to reflect for yourself that you can also do it with all the information what is shared at this moment.
And you also said something about distance in Aikido, or distance help you set your boundaries. So now we are also... So can you talk about when I set my distance, the right distance in an interaction to a partner, or the right distance to a source of information, or an input, or an exchange, collaboration that comes to me, it says also something about setting my own boundaries. And it also has an impact on the other side, on how do I combine this, bring it in balance with not having on my side the sense of being isolated, alone and disconnected if I set that distance, and if this distance is related to boundaries setting.
I related a bit on my own. For me, it's very easy to set boundaries. It's kind of a natural habit in the dojo, but also outside. I could imagine. For me now, it's my learning is to do that. Also with all the information what's coming. But I could imagine that for some people, this is way more difficult. You just mentioned people who are maybe alone at home. Okay, you have to go outside to do your groceries, so you can practice a bit with that boundaries. Other people don't have to know. You can just practice. Can I fill my own space? Normally you have this is your space, but you just extend it a bit. And with that taking in mind, when you come home, you try to do that the same with all the information what is coming to you. Maybe it's also interesting to see where is your boundary in that. Maybe there's time that you really want to see all the news, but maybe there's also a time that you say, okay, sorry, not at this moment. I want to do something else. And it's good to be able to do that, I think. Because otherwise we're always, all the time, there's always something new. I see this, I see that, I see France, I see Germany, I see America. It's okay, but I think this situation will last for a bit longer than 1 week or a month.
So thank you very much for this in-depth talk, discussion, chat. Maybe we can summarize it into saying this was a talk about Mai, distance, boundaries, and yeah, maybe this is a call from our part to all the people listening and watching. We are very curious about your needs as an Aikido practitioner, individually and collectively. And so maybe from your side a few asks?
No, I would say, okay, this is for everybody new, this strange situation. And we're trying to find ways to reach out to each other. And in this case, first of all, I am your teacher, we have a dojo, we are a community. And from my side and Andreas' side, we are thinking about, okay, how can we maintain our community virtual? So please reach out to us if you have a question. Don't hesitate, send us a WhatsApp, call me, and if you have any wishes, also let us know. We're now starting with this small interview. We could have a joint class. We could have a group meeting. We could make just a video as you already got. Help us out and let us know your needs. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tom.